We're up here on the Howard High Plain, about 400 yards from Howard Hut. Following the map in the Wonnangatta Mystery has brought me to this location where the body of John Bamford was found, covered under a log similar to this one by Bill Hearn and his search party. Now, he'd been shot in the head through the left temple.
Harry Smith went to the Dargo police station and said to the constable there, I believe you'll find Bamford on Mount Howard. But as it was the middle of winter and Howard was covered in snow, the constable told Harry Smith that they would organise a search party as soon as the snow had cleared. It was November before it was, the snow had cleared enough. So Constable Hayes and Harry Smith came through Wonnangatta, picked up Bill Hearn and Jim Fry, who were then managing the station, and continued up onto Mount Howard. And it was during the search on Mount Howard that they found Bamford's body under the log. The body was pretty badly decomposed and there was little skin left on the skull, but they were still able to establish that the bullet was fired from a distance and not fired close to the skull, as in held by Bamford himself.
Now, I've read something about Harry Smith having this dream about where Bamford's body would be found. How does that come about?
Yes, Harry Smith's dream. He was grilled by Detective McCarroll and a Detective Bruce at Eaglevale for about 4 hours, and he was asked that question pretty hard by the two detectives, and all he could answer was, I dreamt it.
Harry Smith's fascinating. Like, he brings the colour to the story. I think he was a bit cynical, a bit sarcastic. The way he led the police along with certain things, he said, like, I dreamed it.
Bamford was the obvious murderer. The man help's not here. Where is he? I know where he is. He's heading that way to Mansfield. And he would have been on one of the little pony mares of the station. Harry Smith, good, big, strong, half-bred, thoroughbred that could manage those tracks at a loping gait, and he would have set sail. He would have set sail for Howard, onto the Howard Plains. And Bamford having an early start on him, Bamford probably would have got to the Howard Hut and think, well, I'm clear, I'll camp the night. Harry Smith would have rode all night and caught up there, maybe not that night, but the next morning he found the camp struck and his adversary gone. He would have set sail across them big open Howard Plains, and he would have seen that little bloke going like hammer and tong on that little fat mare, and that big thoroughbred would have loamed up beside him. He would have cocked that sidearm and went bang and blew him clean off his horse. I'm not sure if it was left or right, but it went in behind the ear roll, blew him off the job. That is how the bush worked. They do the job themselves. And it's pretty 2 and 2 makes 4, but I'll guarantee that's about what happened. All my old people believe that was the case.
So once Bamford's body was found, where did it end up from here?
The party wrapped it up in canvas and put it on a pack horse and took it back to Dargo, where an autopsy was performed on the body on a table in the Dargo Hotel.
Now, Keith, this is a huge mystery, what's happened here, and there is a number of theories that are attached to those mysteries. What's your thoughts on it?
I don't believe the murderers came in to kill Jim Barclay. The fact that both people were killed with guns on the property indicates to me that they may have come here to talk to Jim Barclay. He was shot with his own shotgun, and most people who were looking to do someone harm would bring their own weapons. And I feel that John Bamford was an unfortunate witness to what happened here at Wonnangatta, or he was an unfortunate witness to the people that happened to be here. Also, the right incisor tooth in Jim Barclay's chest cavity and broken jaw indicate to me that he may have been in a fight, and it's quite possible that people were talking to him about maybe a liaison he was having with a woman. Things got heated, out of hand, and Barclay unfortunately ended up dead, which put John Bamford in a bad position being a witness to the people being here. As far as Harry Smith killing Bamford in revenge for the death of Barclay, Harry spent many years after the police had dropped the case continuing to investigate it, and a couple of times went to the police to try and get him to reopen the case. If he was involved in either death, I don't think that's something that Harry Smith would do.
I would have thought in the end that most people, including the superintendent in Melbourne, would have thought that maybe justice had been done, bush justice.
Whoever killed Barclay did it in such a way that they wanted to hide his body. They did not want his body to be found, but they needed to get away in a hurry. Otherwise, in such a huge, vast expanse of territory, they could have taken him to so many other places. But they didn't do that. So it was someone who needed to get away, which means they also knew that there would be other people perhaps passing through the station. If Bamford had done that, there was no indication on his body about anything else that was there. There's no information of finding, for example, if you take my suicide theory, no pistol was ever found, but it was after a whole season of snowfalls. And that there was nothing left at the hut to indicate that he'd killed Barclay. The weapons, the scientific evidence at the time was just not good enough to be able to link two people together. And there's so many other conflicting theories of other families being involved, of criminality in the high country, because this was a time of the First World War. There was a lot of money to be made. People were stealing incredibly large amounts of both horses and cattle to make money. And the high country has always hidden its secrets. And this was one of those where a lot of people wanted to point the finger at somebody else, perhaps because they actually didn't know the answer.
I've heard many theories over the years, from bush justice being done, cattle duffing, even Harry Smith. But I believe a woman was involved, and if we knew the name of the woman that Barclay was having an affair with, we could probably solve the Wonnangatta mystery.
The Wonnangatta is a beautiful place and a keeper of great secrets. Now perhaps bush justice was done, but at the end of the day, 2 lives have been lost, and nearly 100 years later, the mystery still remains. I hope to see you out in the bush here someday.